Hey everybody, Jurius Doctor here, back with another video. This time we're going to talk about overview awareness. Now, this is not a video that I had originally intended to make, but I wanted to cover this for new players because I get asked a lot about overview settings and overview packs, and I want to offer some updated content around that. So, let's talk about a basic orientation of understanding the overview. The short version is that the overview represents all the ship's targeting and navigation sensor objects your ship can see when you're in space. So if you think about Star Trek and you hear about the captain going, what do we have in long-range sensors? That's your overview. That's the list of things that show up in space. If it's not in your overview, it's outside of your ship's sensor range. The defaults provided by EVE Online are just okay. They're not great. CCP realized this a few years ago and gave people the ability to share overview setups that they'd created as templates. I'm going to cover this, by the way, in the recap of changes in EVE Online after 2014. So look forward to that video. The creators of these overview presets are much loved and they play an essential, if uncelebrated, role in fleet combat. One of the most popular overview packs is the ZS overview pack. That Z and S stand for Zero and Sundai, Deuce Sundai, so the names of the characters who contribute to it. I'm going to talk about this overview pack in particular, just as an example, to give you an idea of the function and what overpacks do for you as a player. So Zero handles the YAML coding, overview pack maintenance, and long-term updates. Basically, he's the behind-the-scenes coder. He's the guy who created the overview pack with the assistance of Sundai, but he takes care of most of the maintenance and ongoing touch-ups. Sundai is responsible for the design and text formatting, basically the stuff you actually see and read on the screen, the color formatting, what flashes, what doesn't, and so on. So you can kind of think about these two guys together as being the user experience and the user interface working together. So, back end and front end. Now, if you want to see other popular overview packs, there are overview packs available from Aerith of Goonswarm. There's the Sarashawa pack, which is probably the second most popular, if not, competing for the most popular, and the EVE University overview pack, among others. However, I will warn you that a bunch of the ones not listed here have fallen greatly out of date, and you'll need to do some tweaking to make them functional for you. Now, overview brackets and icons have been updated over the years by CCP, and the new overview brackets and icons now include different categories for hostile and friendly NPCs, other players. So if you're looking in your overview and the tags next to those, or if you're looking in space and you see those icons come up, if they're red, they're a hostile NPC. If they're green in this case, a friendly NPC, and if they're white, then it's a player. It makes it a lot easier to differentiate as a new player. Now, the Upwell Consortium coming into the game with the launch of the Citadel means that you now have different icons representing citadels, engineering complexes, and refineries. And you have details in the overview telling you whether or not you're friendly to that structure's owner, corporation, or if you have docking access or not. And it's good to recognize what these overview objects are and what they mean. And I will try to link or provide a link in the description to CCP's dev blog on this. Now, when it comes to understanding how overview packs work, let's take a look here at a basic overview. So on the left side, you have your icon and your tags. So these are the objects representing what type of ship it is at a glance, whether it's an industrial combat ship, a frigate, a battleship, a carrier, and so on. The distance from you, the name of the pilot, the type of ship it is by name. Tag is typically in the first row, but here I've got it in the fifth. Then you'll have corporation, alliance, faction, militia, size, and velocity, radial velocity. Now, this isn't necessarily the default view, and you can rearrange and hide columns that you don't care to look at Most people who do any kind of solo or skirmish PvP will have a velocity and radial velocity listed. A lot of FCs will have those columns listed because it's useful for understanding how effective your weapons will be when you're engaging with gunnery and missiles, for example. Now, understanding overview packs. Quite a while ago, CCP gave people the ability to create new packs, share them, and then people who would click on those links in chat would automatically have that overview reflected against their in-game look. So somebody could create an overview pack and they could share it, put it in a dedicated chat channel, provide different links for different options, and all of that programming would just come over into the overview of the person wanting it. How it works to get this overview pack is that you go to the ZTAC-S overview chat channel. So ZTAC-S overview is the name. You open the hamburger menu in your overview. That's the series of lines, horizontally stacked lines, in the top left corner of the overview window. You go to the miscellaneous tab and you press the button that says reset all overview settings. This is a very important first step because it clears out all the presets that CCP gives you. Then, in the ZTAC-S overview chat channel, you can choose from different overview packages within that ZTAC-S set. So there's the core, which provides you brackets, extra align points or navigation presets for tab, travel sets, PvP, targets for drones, friendly, and D-scan. You can add additional packs at any time. The PVX1 is for gang and fleet engagements. PVX2 is for solo and niche engagements. ZTAC-S targets include specific categories. ZTAC-S Friendly Extended includes specific friendly categories for fleet engagements. And the D-Scan Extended contains more finely tuned presets for the D-Scan filter, which is particularly useful if you're an explorer. Now, what do these different sets include? Well, the PvP Extended, PVX1 and 2, include categories for co-ops, deployables, not purple shoot-it fleets, or what we call purple fleets, anomalies, exploring, faction warfare, incursion, and so on. The targets set includes target categories, such as, if you want to just view in a big fleet fight, if you only wanted to see the battle cruisers, or you only wanted to see, the tier 3 strategic cruisers, or you only wanted to see carriers and fighters, you can add those targets and select for those specifically. You can also filter by friendly, so friendly capitals, friendly carriers. This is particularly useful if you're part of the logistics team and they're not logistics but logi. So if you're out in space and somebody is being shot at and you're trying to keep them alive, be able to see just the friendly targets and how they're doing, very, very useful. And then D-scan categories. Now, understanding the difference between brackets and tabs. When you are in space, and I borrowed this screenshot from somebody else, when you're in space, these are your brackets. The objects that you see in your HUD, your heads-up display, are brackets. You can change what brackets you see by right-clicking on any of the overview tabs in the overview and choosing Add to Brackets or changing the bracket settings. Now, one of the easiest defaults to set is Active Tab will change the active brackets that are on display. A typical EVE fight, larger size, will look like this. And it can get very, very confusing for new players to see everything that's going on here. Now, the tabs that I'm talking about in the overview, these are them here. And the ZTAC-S setup will color code your tabs for you, but you can always rename and recolor these yourself by going into the overview settings through the hamburger menu that I pointed out to you before. I don't know why this particular pilot has such a huge selected item window. Typically, I would make that much, much smaller, but it could be that they predominantly navigate by mouse. Not holding anything against them there. Now, the ZTAC-S overview will give you the option between a large extended overview with very clearly written out large names, or the option of a condensed version. You also have the option to see the bracket names around structures and ships in a verbose version or in a compact version. So you have these choices to choose from. If you ever want to reset and choose a different overview setting, you just repeat the same steps as at the beginning. You go to the overview settings, hamburger menu, you go to the miscellaneous tab, and you click reset all overview settings, and then you are ready to choose a different overview pack. I hope that this has been clear enough for everybody. If anyone has any questions or you need to know more about this, please feel free to throw your questions in the comments section below. Thanks for putting up with my stuffy mumbling, and everybody have a great night.